Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sibwaga TV, which is the home of politics. When there was Wiper NDC, Fred Matiang'I had actually made a speech. And in that speech, I was able to analyze very important issues because Fred Matiang'I had actually talked about issues which are real and which must be looked upon. And it was quite clear that that speech was a speech that everybody held. And it actually made many people to see Fred Matiang'I differently, because that speech actually brought out who Fred Matiang'I is. That Fred Matiang'I is a very brilliant person. So that is the speech I could like you to listen to very carefully. And after that, we will analyze that speech. So please listen to this carefully. And at the end, we will give a quick analysis about the speech. Please listen to this.
My fellow Kenyans, there are many things we could say at this point in time, but I want to say only two. One, every generation has a date with destiny, and every generation faces its own challenge. The one we face today in Kenya is to be true to ourselves and true to our country and save our country from the challenges we have today. People have been saying that the mood in Africa is such that you cannot serve one term, that it's very difficult to remove a sitting president. I honestly think that that nonsense is now being sorted out, and you know what that is. So, Kenyan people, soon enough we will have our opportunity to do a good thing for this country and follow suit and do what other good Africans have done where they have not been satisfied by service provision and service delivery. I honestly don't think we will let the Kenyan people down. Secondly, Your Excellency, I want to repeat and exactly say what Mother said here. We have agreed we must put ambition and everything else before the interests of this country. When we sit together, and should the united opposition, Your Excellency, decide that you will be the candidate, I will support you. We will support you. And I believe that when that time comes, when we all sit together, consult everybody, and a method is found of identifying a candidate or one of us who will deliver and be a first among equals, we should all rally behind that individual. And as I've said here openly, Your Excellency, if that person is yourself, we will support you and back you, because in any case, that's what we want. Finally, as I leave, I would like to urge us, because this issue is normally spoken about, I'd like to speak about it a little more bluntly and more frankly. My brothers and sisters, fellow Kenyans, and it's good that we tell you the truth. Building an opposition or a coalition is a journey of alignment and coming together. We will be together in spite of our differences, not because we don't have differences. We will work on this together. It's a long journey that we are determined to work together. The goal we have is greater than the sum total of each one of us here. So, occasionally, if we argue sometimes, or if we have differences of opinion, that is precisely because we are a group of people who are passionate and love their country. We do not expect that Kenyans want a government that looks like a boys' choir or a girls' quartet. It is supposed to be a group of people who are smart, who reason, who work together, who argue, then they come together and form one government. So, as we go forward, we will have our own active moments of fellowship. But we assure you that even during that fellowship, Kenya will be opportunity and priority number one as we go forward. So let us stay the course and continue to work together, and we will continue to work together. Today, tomorrow, and always, Kenya will remain our priority, and we will do the best we can to ensure that we take this country to the next level. Please allow me to say only one thing that is very, very painful to me today. what is going on right now in the country, and my colleagues, and I'm calling them colleagues because I just left the security sector 3 years ago, having served as Minister for Interior. The activities of registering people, some of whom are not even Kenyan citizens, getting identification cards and doing all manner of criminal monkeying that is going to affect our country, is setting the stage for anarchy in this country. I want to ask our brothers and sisters who are in government that, there must come a time in the history and in the life of a public servant when you must think about your country more than the very basic issues of political expedience and political survival at any point in time. The madness going on right now and those things that are happening, denying young people registration in parts of the country where people suspect they will not get votes, is setting the stage for anarchy. And I want to ask the IEBC and everyone responsible to think about this country very seriously. You may be in responsible positions today, you may be in power today, but please think about the country today and tomorrow. May God bless you indeed as we walk through this, and may we stick together, and may unity describe us as we demand that, as I said earlier, people who say that there would never be one term, let them just wait 2027 and see what will happen. It will be one term. Arambe! Arambe! The resolution is, God bless you.
Wiper. Iyo museme kwa nguvu. Wiper. Wiper. We are on a journey to liberate. We in the People's Liberation Party, we say it, but we say it slightly differently. We say unite, liberate. Nikisema PLP, munanipatia unite, liberate. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema tuungane, tujikomboe. PLP. You can see, we are on a journey to liberate. And when I listen to my other brothers, what they say is about liberating the country. We are liberating the country of oppression. Someone's finger is on our throats. Someone's boots is on our throats. They are exploiting the nation's people worse than the extractive colonial regime. Why would they tax people beyond the point where a family is no longer able to feed itself? Why are they taking our money in Shah Chief, a theft syndicate? Yet they are leaving the burdens of the bills to the families. Why are they taking the housing levy? I am happy to hear my brother say he would scrap it as the first item. I will not repeat everything my brother has said. I've only touched on a few to show that we are of the same mind. Should the united opposition pick my twin brother as the flag bearer, I pledge to stand with him to the end. We have said that the nation is bigger than any of us. We must subordinate our ambitions for the good of the nation. Unity is not a luxury. It is a must. It's an imperative. Failing to unite is voting for the enemy, for the oppressor. And I want Kenyans to know we have only one enemy, the oppressor and those behind him. And I will not utter the name. I can only use the popular name Kasongo and everything Kasongo represents. And I want to tell Kasongo a message for Kasongo from this podium of the Wiper, the Patriotic Front. We will not allow you to graduate as a dictator on this Kenyan soil. Our constitution forbids anything that is not democratic. We will therefore, we can see you are in a hurry to become like a certain other within this region. We will not allow any such graduation, we promise you. And we promise the people of Kenya nothing short of liberation, a better life, a prosperous life, and a country founded on the rule of law. A country founded on equity, on justice, on social justice, and on everything that the Kenyans deserve. And we therefore say, mambo ni sio poa, ni one time. Mambo ni kila mahali Kenya, mambo ni. Mimi naomba kuondoka. tunaenda kwa mkutano mwingine, sio wa kisiasa. Huyu ni wa akina mama, tunaenda kumpatia tunzo mwenzetu ambaye amefikisha miaka 100. Kwa hivyo muniruhusu nielekee, lakini nitawacha my agency ndivyo apate nafasi pia kusalimia the super delegates. We have a big team here of our members who include 2 professors. The Secretary General will recognize them when apologize for having to leave early, and once again to congratulate you on this very auspicious occasion. Asanteni.
After listening to that, you can agree with me that Fred Okengo Matiang'I is a very important person. In that speech, Fred Okengo Matiang'I had actually talked about putting the Kenyan issues first. Because Fred Okengo Matiang'I knows very well that if leaders in the opposition side could put the Kenyans first, then it will be even very easy for the Kenyans to trust them and to hand them power. So it will be very easy for the side of opposition to make President William Samoei Arap Ruto to be a one-term president. So that was the first key thing that Fred Okengo Matiang'I had actually mentioned in that speech. The second thing that Fred Okengo Matiang'I came out clearly about is that if the side of opposition want to have one candidate, and the candidate who is going to run against William Samoei Arap Ruto, then they must form a credible way of choosing the president or choosing the person who is going to be their flag bearer. They must come up with a formula which is very clear, understandable, and fair to all the candidates within the side of opposition. And that is why, as you heard in that speech, Fred Okengo Matiang'I was able to say that if the opposition will come together and they will have that clear formula, anybody who will be chosen by using that formula, then all the opposition leaders will be very eager, and they will make sure that that person will be supported to run against President William Samoei Arap Ruto. And Fred said it very clearly that if it will be Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka who will be chosen, then he will rally behind Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So that was a very key issue that came out of that speech of Fred Okengo Matiang'I. Another issue that Fred Okengo Matiang'I had brought out, it is about how coalitions are being taken care, how leaders of any coalition, they should understand that the formation of a coalition must be taken with great care. And it is not easy to come up with a coalition until you produce one candidate. It needs time. It needs to be nurtured. So that was also another clear information from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And that came out clearly because Fred Okengo Matiang'I has actually been out of the Wamunyoro group because of carelessness. Because in the recent, you have been hearing some people saying that Fred Matiang'I is a government operative, is a mole of the government within the opposition side. So Fred Okengo Matiang'I put it very clear that for the opposition to succeed, then they must have that spirit of actually building up the opposition for a better and a clear goal. Another thing which actually came out very clearly from Fred Okengo Matiang'I is that for all those leaders who are within the opposition side, they are equal and they must see each other as equals, that there is nobody within the opposition side who must see that he himself is greater than the others. And I think that was directed to Rigathi Gachagua, who has always been feeling that in the side of opposition, he is the head boy. He is the leader who is leading others. But Fred had come out and he had put it very clearly that within the opposition, the leaders are equal, the principles are equal. So that's another thing which came out of that speech. Another thing which came out of that speech is that the opposition must be very careful, because what is happening in this republic, we have people who are actually being registered as voters and who are not the citizens of this nation. And he actually said that that is actually being done with one aim of making a particular person to be the president of this republic, let come 2027. And Fred Okengo Matiang'I said that the opposition side must have that in mind, and they must take that issue seriously. If they must win, let come 2027, and that must be addressed. And it is very unfortunate for that to happen in this republic. So Fred Okengo Matiang'I, in the Wiper Party NDC, he actually tackled the issues which are of great concern currently and which must be tackled with care. And he warned the opposition that they must look at those things. And that speech actually touched me a lot. And I think the opposition took that speech seriously. My fellow listeners, what do you have to say about that speech of Fred Okengo Matiang'I which he made in the Wiper NDC? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to pump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it is good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly until we meet in our next political discussion. Goodbye.